Welcome to Ronan Keating, who, whilst we've been in lockdown, has had a baby boy and is releasing an album, and to Harriet Scott, who has become a trustee of the Radio Academy and a homeschooling teacher, all on top of broadcasting from home each day. Quiet time at home then?
Oh my God. Yeah, loads of free time.
I think we're probably feeling busier than we would have, if we were back in a normal situation where we'd be traveling into the studio, because all of your time is used up. There's no longer travel time. You don't allocate travel time. Everything is work time now. Whether it's for Harriet, I guess, I don't want to speak for her, but whether she's schooling the kids or, cleaning your house, cleaning your toilet, whatever it is, Harriet, whatever you might be doing.
No, don't bring that up again.
No, I won't bring that up. But whatever, I think I feel busier than I've ever been.
Absolutely. And sometimes when we finish doing the show, I hide in here for a little bit, because when the minute I go next door, as in next door, literally in the dining room, that's where the homeschooling's happening. And we've got to get on with maths and then English. And the longer I spend in here, the less I have to do with that.
So as of today, it's now 2 months since Magic Breakfast was last in the studio. Can you just briefly explain what the setup is now?
We use a thing called Clean Feed. We've got Brian, our producer, who's up in Lincolnshire at the moment. He's talking to us down the line. We've got Eloise in South London.
I think it's okay. It's great. It's not as good as being in the studio together. There's no doubt about it. But we are all across the country making do with what we have in our situation. And
yes, exactly.
As much as we can, we have a little bit of fun about that. Because I think the thing about what's happening is everybody's in the same boat. Everybody, whether you're on radio or whether you're at home working or whatever it is, you're taking your office home. Everything is so relatable now. And Magic Breakfast broadcasting from our houses, everybody's relating to what we're going through, whether it's the kids walking in while we're doing a link or, whatever it is. All of our home stories are poured into our show every day. And everybody at home is going, oh my God, I'm going through the same thing. Oh my God, that happened to me last night. Oh, so it's we're all in this together. That's kind of, that's the thing.
So do you think does it feel in a sense like you're closer to the audience now, closer to the listener than when you were in a studio?
I think that because we are essentially all doing the same thing, no one's going out to a fancier club than someone else or a better restaurant or buying things in shops or having different holidays. We're all living in our homes and we have the same problems. We're all cleaning our own homes, cleaning our toilets, cooking our food. A lot of us have children who we love dearly but who are there all the time. So there's a lot going on. And I think that exactly we feel that our lives mirror many of our listeners' lives. It's actually been a nice opportunity, I think. I've certainly shared more than I thought I was going to share. You just think, oh, well, whatever. We're all doing this together. So let me tell you about the time my toilet broke. It's it's what we're all having to deal with.
So it is a strange time. And how, over the last 2 months, how have you changed what you do in terms of the content on the show?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that we've changed. We've adapted. Is probably the best way of putting it. We've adapted to our situation. Everybody has. We've all had to adapt, and I think it's been in a way, it's been a great learning curve for me anyway. I've never spent this much time at home since I was 17 years of age. I have constantly travelled since I was 17. I've been 1 week in the same place. And then I've been on a plane and traveled somewhere. So for me to be, I went into lockdown when I got back from Asia at the end of February. So March, April, halfway through May now. I'm 2.5 months in lockdown. And, we just had a baby, a gorgeous little baby girl. So that side of it's worked well for us, that I have been able to be here with Storm and with Cooper. My older kids are in Ireland, unfortunately. They were over there for the lockdown, so they haven't been able to travel back over to the UK. So it's been a real learning curve, but we've adapted, and I think we've adapted really well. And like Harriet says, it's the thing. People are feeling that we're all involved, we're all together, everything is very relatable. we're all doing the same things, you know, regardless of who you are, whether you're Elton John or you're not, you're doing the same things in your house. And that's why it's entertaining and it's funny. And at times it's hard. But, you know, it's emotional too, you know, because people are sharing stories about stuff they're going through that is stuff we couldn't fathom ever happening in our lifetime. And you know, we're sharing all of that together on the show.
So, what have you changed in your show? Can you think about anything you're doing less of now? Anything you're doing more of?
We have new parts of the show that we've added because of the situation we're in, and it's so funny. And you know, certain things like "Is it okay?", which is something our producer Brian came up with. Which is it's like this amnesty. We're giving people absolution, you know, for the random crazy things that we have started doing since lockdown at home, and it's very,
and just
very
the
funny.
standards that have been slipping. You know, just things like, is it okay to still be in your pajamas at 5 o'clock? And we're always like, well, yeah. Is it okay to, you know, I don't know, use like, you know, eat the alphabet-y spaghetti hoops that were going to be for the kids? Like, is it okay that if I have that for my dinner? And you're like, of course it's okay. Everything's okay.
Everything's acceptable at the minute.
Yeah.
And am I right in saying there's a little less news on the show now, Harriet?
Yes, there is. I think we took the decision to just do news on the top of the hour, so on the hour, because the daily news cycle actually doesn't change that much. There is only one story that the whole world is talking about. And I think that goes back to, do we really want to hear it? You know, every half hour. I think people come to Magic actually for a bit of comfort, a bit of release. Of course, we'll keep people informed, and any major developments, of course, they'll hear it here on Magic. But equally, we just thought, let's just do it at 8 o'clock. People know there will be news at 8 o'clock. And sometimes, you know, we will reflect that if there's been a big change, like last week when Boris said that from Wednesday you can go out more. Of course, we're going to be talking about that and how does that reflect us and what does that actually mean. But, you know, we're not a rolling news station. People don't come to us for that. And we thought that during this period, really, once an hour is enough. And
so it's more for you, is it about lifting people up at the moment?
Yeah, I think so. You know, everybody wants that. Everybody needs that right now. They want to feel a positivity. They want to feel, you know, to be taken out of the scenario they're in right now and just transported somewhere else. And that's what the music on Magic does. And we hope the humour and the stories that we share, you know, from our random everyday life that we're all, you know, experiencing at the moment, that we can share together. And hopefully it's entertaining. Hopefully we can make you laugh. Hopefully, you know, you can leave your brain outside for a minute and just have some fun with the show. And that's really what, you know, Magic Breakfast is about.
Hopefully the feeling that we have together, the friendship that we have together after nearly 3 years together, I think hopefully comes across on the radio and makes other people feel good too.
Yeah. I don't know if you can hear it, but my dog is scratching on the back door. So if you do hear that sound, that's what that is. That is broadcasting live from home. Is all about.
Will we get your washing machine later?
The washing machine and Cooper might be in this any minute now.
So as people are at home at the moment and maybe aren't seeing as many of their friends, well, certainly aren't seeing as many of their friends and co-workers, is there something about radio that's bringing people together? Is that sharing stories thing? And, you know, I know on Magic we do all requests on Friday now, all day long, just to bring people together. Yeah. Do you think that's an important role that radio has a specific role in playing?
Well, I do actually. Yeah, I do. We both do. I think, you know, unfortunately, when you put on the television and the news at the moment, like we spoke about, it's all about the same thing. And you know, that's rightly so. People need to be informed, and that's what it's there for. Whereas what we're trying to do here on radio is, on Magic anyway, is we're trying to make people feel good. You know, it's positive. And if you know, we can connect with all of our listeners via this way, I mean, then that's what we want to do. And it's really important for us on our show that we do feel we're connecting with people. And that's, you know, Harriet and I will stop sometimes in the middle of the show and we'll say, do you think that feels right? Do you think people at home are going to, you know, we might say that off air, and then it'd make you think outside the box all of a sudden and think, oh yeah, hang on a second, you're right. And I'd go, because I don't, you know, Harriet's been doing this longer than I have. I know she looks, you know, far much younger than I do, but she's been doing it for a long time now. But she'd say things like,
of the long.
It's not relatable, Ronan, or it's not, and I go, all right, I get what you're saying. And it's about that connectivity or connection with, with the listeners and with people at home. And because we're all in this together, we can share the stories. I'm not in a hotel in Tokyo or in Australia or wherever I might be on the road touring. I'm at home going through exactly the same experiences that everybody, pretty much, that everyone else at home is, as is Harriet, whether it's homeschooling or cleaning your toilet or trying to get on Ocado as soon as you can before the 7 million other people are on there trying to get. Yeah. We're all doing the same things.
Yeah, and it's the immediacy of radio as well. If people are wanting to, play a favourite song for someone that they love, or send messages to key workers, or just send a message to everybody and pick a favourite song, we can do that in an instant. I can't think of another medium that can do that.
The audience here with us, well, not quite with us, today, are from a marketing and advertising background. So we should focus on how the coronavirus has affected how we work with brands. And I think radio has a real role to play because of the flexibility, how fast we can turn around stuff. We've been able to work with our customers very quickly to change adverts and ensure their messaging is always on the right tone and resonating right. There are specific examples in terms of the breakfast show with how you've worked with our sponsor. Would you be able to share that with us?
Yeah, sure. Well, obviously, our lovely friends at Benson's for Beds have been sponsoring our show for a while now. And obviously what they recognised is, whilst I'm sure their stores are still open virtually, then, people are not going into stores and buying beds right now. But they still want to show people that they're still here, they're still present, and how they can connect with their audience is to make it not just about buying a bed, but a whole sleep experience. So they have like a sleep expert, and Eloise gets involved in that and does some videos actually online about sleep tips.
That's Eloise, who is also a presenter on the show with you, yeah?
Yes. Eloise, who is an essential part of the show. Officially she does travel news. Now she's such a great addition to the team. She's very funny on air. So one thing she is doing these things with Benson's for Beds, these sleep tips. Also, we've been asking our listeners for their favourite relaxing sounds. That's a Benson's for Beds kind of sponsorship thing as well. And they've been quite funny. They've been, what you might think is a relaxing sound is not what some of our listeners think. What do we have? We had children in the playground, and actually now that would be a lovely thing to hear. But bees buzzing was an odd one the other day.
Lovely. And our Bauer Adventure team have set up a tone consultancy to use the skills of our programmers and editors and broadcasters like yourselves to help brands find the right message. We continue to conduct research and insight into the audience to help us pitch it just right, but with you guys, you're there every day on air. How do you find the right tone?
How do we find the right tone? Well, I guess the thing about it is to be human. Is to understand that we're all in the same situation and we're all going through it. And I think trying to be clever and trying to manipulate a situation is. I think the listener's very clever, and I think people know and they can hear and they can see through. When it's manufactured. So I think the thing is about being honest. And every morning you won't get more honest than listening to Harriet and myself on the radio, because some of the stuff that comes out shouldn't really be on radio, but we do it because we can't, for example, this morning Harriet shared a story that she shouldn't have shared about, she had a toilet situation and that's the thing. It's about being honest, and we do it every day. And I think, from what we hear back from our listeners, it's exactly what they need.
And do you think that honesty and, all of the things that radio's good at, it being so intimate with the audience, it feeling like a friend on the radio, do you think that is having an effect on listening at the moment?
Well, I do actually. By all accounts, from what I've heard, streaming figures are through the roof, so that's always good. People's listening habits will change during this time. Obviously, different day parts will pick up, different audiences, because people's patterns are completely different, mostly, to what they were just 3 months ago. But yes, it's been very successful. We're getting great figures.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very, very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
And I hope the rest of your days are going very, very well. Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you.
Ronan Keating and Harriet Scott from Magic Breakfast.